Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today I decided to do my own movie. I haven't watched anything that I personally have requested, but this weekend I decided I was going to watch a movie because it was mentioned in my textbook that I'm reading for school, and it's a movie that I've always wanted to watch and I know is, historic, but I never actually got around to sitting down and watching the whole thing straight through. I also just got an HBO Max subscription, more on that later, and so I decided to watch Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane was released in 1941. It was written by Herman J. Mankiewicz and Orson Welles, and it was directed by Orson Welles. First of all, before we get into the review, HBO Max is a subscription-based service, and every Warner Brothers movie that is coming out this year is also going to be released on HBO Max. So keep that in mind when requesting things. I will be doing those, or at least most of them. I know one comes out some later this month called The Little Things. I do intend on watching that. I don't know when the review for that comes out yet, but hopefully relatively around when it comes out. It depends on what I have to watch that day and if that's going to take too much time. But keep that in mind. If there's anything that's coming out for Warner Brothers this year that you want me to review, I do have access to that, so put it in the comments down below. Or anything you want me to review at all, put it in the comments down below. Please subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. I would really, truly appreciate it. So Citizen Kane, for those of you who don't know, essentially it's about this guy who dies, and his last word is Rosebud. And all of these people are trying to figure out what it is, because Orson Welles, who plays Kane is a very big, he's a big dude, he was very popular and very, very public, and so when he dies, his last word is Rosebud. It's very confusing. So it's about an investigator who goes through and he finds out that, Kane was basically born with nothing and then was kind of sent to have more stuff, and then he became very wealthy very, very quickly, and ended up owning his own paper company and being not very moral with it, and kind of abusing power. It is semi-based on the story of William Randolph Hearst, which technically, I'll move over here, technically it isn't based on that, but it is. There's a lot of stuff in his life that is influenced in the film. Also, a relatively new person that it does kind of remind me of is Donald Trump. But, essentially, what happens is they find out that he's been abusing the power and stuff like that, and his last word was Rosebud. And they never figure out what it means, but the audience is led to believe that technically, because the sled that he was given for Christmas when he was younger was called, from his mother, was called Rosebud. And so it kind of symbolizes that he still has his love for his mother. He can lose everything and, have everything in the whole world, but one thing he's never going to lose is his mother's love. And, also, childhood, when you're an adult, you think you're going to lose back on and look back and, kind of lose focus on your childhood. For me, I don't think I've lost it yet. To be fair, I'm almost 20, and that's, it. And I haven't lost any, feeling of childhood yet. So that's good, because I feel like I'm a child at heart. I still watch animated films. Animated films are great. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we could talk about that. I'm not going to go too deep into it on here. You can form your own thoughts. If you are interested in that, put in the comments down below, and I will either make a YouTube video on it or I'll make a TikTok on it, which I do have a TikTok. I'm not going to put the link in the description or anything like that, but if you find it, you find it, so that's pretty cool. For those of you who came from TikTok, hello. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your time. But I really enjoyed my time watching this movie. It's 2 hours long, but honestly it didn't feel like it. It felt pretty smooth. From the beginning, we have a lot of voiceover, and we kind of see the whole the whole Kane story, which I think might have been not smart. It was good for me because it got me entranced in the film, and I was able to continue and be like, okay, this is what's going to happen. But if they decided to leave that out, it might have been better for the viewer to be able to watch and see things in chronological order, because you can technically see that as it's not in chronological order, because you do see it in the beginning of the film, and then we see it again later, but in more detail, which I felt was both smart and also kind of disappointing, because it felt a little lazy, but it helped. So I don't really know how to feel about that. I'm not going to I'm not going to make it negative or anything, but I'm not going to say it's fantastic. It's just confusing, and it's just something that I noticed. Overall, I had a really good time watching it. One quick thing that I liked, my favorite YouTube channel, Corridor Crew, They upload videos about VFX and stuff like that. I love VFX. I'd always love to get into VFX, but I don't know how to start, and it feels like I need a better computer for that. But I am fascinated with it. And one thing they talked about in Citizen Kane was that big auditorium scene where Kane's on the podium is like this, and then the whole crowd looks like it's moving. It's just a bunch of pinpricks in a piece of paper, and then they shine light through it to make it look like they're moving. It's so cool. It really is a technological revolution here. It's fantastic. However, some of the plot points I think were kind of weak. Like, for instance, the whole story where we go back into where we go into Kane's story feels a little rushed at points and then also slow at points. Like, when we're meeting Susan for the first time in real time, it feels slow. But then it's really fast when we meet her later. So it's really annoying trying to pick up where we are in time and all that stuff. One other negative before I talk about the acting, the makeup was not very good. Orson Welles had his makeup done when he played the older version of Kane, and I've heard it was a lot of complications. For one, he was in the makeup chair for 7 hours, which is unbelievable and ridiculous. And also his contacts were like painful, like a doctor had to put them on him, and then he couldn't see anything, and then he cut his wrist while doing that scene where like he smashes things. And also, I heard that he broke his ankle while running down the stairs one time in the one scene where he's running down the stairs forced by the other person who's running for a political campaign. But yeah, so lots of problems. But the makeup for the old Kane looked very bad. You could literally just see the makeup on him. He's sweating. You could just like see the makeup on him. And like, it would have been a quick like 5-minute fix if they just like halted production for like 5 minutes and then fixed that real quick. I think that would have been to their advantage. It really didn't look very good. I'm sure back then it was probably accepted, but I am going to grade it as if I'm watching it right now and watching it as a classic. Let's talk about the acting real quick. I'm only going to talk about 2 characters that I think were really, really excellent. The rest were okay. I didn't have any problems with acting, but particularly Orson Welles as Kane. So yes, he wrote, directed, and starred in this, which is very difficult. Speaking as someone who has seen people direct and act at the same time, I can't even imagine. That's hard. But yeah, he did fantastic. I enjoyed the whole progression in mid-age to old age. I liked him the most when he was like young adult, like my age kind of. I felt like that's where he was in his prime. It reminds me of a young Howard Stark from the MCU, if you're watching the MCU. It really did feel like a young Howard Stark. But yeah, overall, solid performance. I really enjoyed it. A really good idea for a film, in my opinion. Although audiences don't get to see any of the importance of the film till later. Oh, one quick side note. I got a new dresser. I built it myself. It looks really good. Anyway. Sorry, distraction. Haha. One more actress I want to mention is Dorothy Comingore as Susan Alexander. Really, really solid job. I really enjoyed it. I think the voice was dubbed for the opera. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty confident it was dubbed. There's no way it was her. But I did really, really enjoy her performance as Susan, especially as we progress. We see that she becomes more and more defiant against Kane, and that's something we really need in a movie like this, where we're going to have a big dominant character. We need a character like that to come in and be defiant against him. So it's nice to see that we also have that arc there where she's at first not very defiant and then becomes more and more defiant. So I really enjoyed that character change that I saw, and I really enjoyed watching that. Overall, not a bad movie. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. Again, I didn't even realize 2 hours had gone by. Really, really solid movie. I enjoyed it. Classics are classics. I like black and white movies. I have nothing against black and white movies. But overall, because of the makeup and the timelines and just some of the weird timelines that happened, those are really the main issues that I have with it. I'm going to have to give this movie an A. Thank you all so much for watching this review. I hope you guys had a good time. This week we've got some stuff coming out. This week we've got Catch Me If You Can, Luke Cage Season 1, Anchorman 2, and What About Bob? Or at least that's what I think is coming out as of right now. I'm filming this on the 10th, so I really don't know for sure, but that's what I think is coming out. Also, on the 29th, I'm likely to do 2 reviews. I'm likely to do the one for Fargo, which is request, and I'll probably also upload the Little Things review as well. So look forward to those things. But with that, that's really all I have for you today. I hope you guys have a good start to your week. I hope to catch you guys later in the week. But as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.